Election day is coming up, so make sure you get out there and exercise your right to vote. I voted early, and I encourage you to get out there too, especially if you're not voting for Donald Trump, obviously. In other news, in hip hop, of course, we have this Diddy thing that won't seem to go away. There's more and more, it keeps adding up on top of it. Like, he's definitely guilty, it seems like, based on all of these claims against Diddy: sexual assault, sex trafficking. I don't know all the charges, but, essentially drugging and raping, torturing, scamming all these people, which, you hear rumors about that go on in the industry, and now we kind of see it coming out in the public eye, seeing what some of these stories might look like, all those rumors that you may have heard over the years. You can see that some of those type of stories are true, or it looks like they probably are true. I mean, there's this many people. I've looked into all the Gene Deal talks, his ex-bodyguard, 50 Cent, his commentary, and I listened to Eminem over the years too, and just how he spoke on Diddy. I've never really been a big fan of Diddy, and it might have been because of that, just kind of subconsciously, because Eminem was telling me, he's not, stay away from him, shit like that. And then Jaguar Wright, I don't know what all to sort of believe from what she was saying on that interview with Pierce Morgan, and then her other videos, but I checked her out too. Jeff Wittick, he's this content creator, apparently went to a Diddy party at one point. Arsenio Hall, Lil Scrappy said some things, and Nick Cannon, Justin Livtoski was really young when he went to one. Tom Swoop. So some people have opened up and said things that have helped, and I think that's gotten me to the point where I believe that Diddy had a lot of other people involved, and also he was using a lot of drugs to rape and torture and assault all these people. And I think he was putting in the baby oil and in drinks and all this stuff, like wherever he could, drugging people. He probably put in food if he had the chance. He's crazy. I don't support any of that. I've never drugged or raped anyone, never done anything of that sort. And I don't support people that do that at all, never have. It's tough because now it's like hip hop's kind of on trial too. And like, did I support someone who's affiliated with him? And it's tough to think about. It goes back to my point about when I've made music with someone who turns out to be a horrible person or a fraud, or, it's just like I take what I've done and appreciate that, the quality work that I did from a place of truth and integrity, from my culture, and really put it out there. That's some other thing, what they're doing, all that fake stuff, that lying, that gossip and torture and rape and murder, and all that is a different culture. That's not hip hop. It's not what's put out there at the forefront as to what the artists are speaking for, what the music is speaking for. It's just that goes on, and it may be industry wide. I've also heard that Clive Owens may be involved, or what's his name, Justin Levine, or whatever that dude's name is. Like those people at Interscope and Def Jam, who all knows who's involved. Some higher ups, definitely. I've never seen anything like that. I went to one big party in LA, but there weren't any drugs there visibly. I mean, aside from weed. Just drinking, dance floor. Might have been some women with their tits out at the hot tub or something, but maybe I accidentally or unknowingly went to a Diddy affiliated, hard to say, Diddy affiliated party and didn't know. And I like, either way, I've never been to any parties where any of that was going on. Public fucking, and people getting squirted down with baby oil, date rape, drugs, all that. I've never been to those kind of parties, and I avoid them. I don't like that kind of stuff. So anyway, my stance on that is I put Diddy in the same kind of category as Donald Trump. They're just abusers, frauds, bigots. It's all the same kind of person to me. Drewski is somewhere between, where he's like putting on this persona with his could have been records. He's one that's been close with Diddy in recent years and hasn't spoken out as far as some of those things that may be going on behind closed doors. But he, in his videos, he portrays somebody who would be like Baby Birdman or like Diddy, as we've heard. So watch his could have been videos. You'll see kind of how maybe the things he's seen comes out as his character, because he's playing a character. He's a comedian. Could have been is the whole joke in itself, right? The logo is copped from Cash Money Records, and yeah, his whole persona is like this evil hip hop mogul, and he plays it really well. So if you kind of want to see it like in a dark comedy sort of way, look into Drewski. But I'm kind of not really sure about him either. And in that same way, Ye's been called out for some scamming, like taking money from someone that he owes money, and maybe sexually assaulting, raping this person or others. So if that's the case, I'm done with Kanye West. I don't stand for any of that for any artists that I support. Is if they've been convicted for sure, did something like that, I'm not with them. Doesn't matter how pretend talented they once were or whatever. If they're standing on something that horrible, they never were able to achieve it legitimately. They had to use torture or abuse in some way, or bigotry, or some other unreasonable means to get to where they're at. So yeah, that's where I stand on all that. It's a tough time when it gets close to election. Feelings get hurt, tensions get high, but I don't support that Donald Trump, Diddy, and if Kanye's an abuser, abusive behavior at all. What I do support, you should know, of course, through my content and all these other videos I've been producing. Progress, definitely, multiculturalism and community-oriented programs, of course, but also recognizing independent success and merit of the individual in America. And Wisconsin's a purple state again. It's going to be divided. It's a lot of confused people around here. I think the bigotry is really coming out in these elections, the racism, and a lot of racists are going with Donald Trump. That became clear in the last election, and it's very obvious now. Just the racism gets really heightened during election time. And so it turns into a racial vote. It's not how I vote. I would consider myself an independent. I vote based on the issues. And so that's that. I'm continuing to drop music, dropping little animated videos for those. And make sure you check out the full quality audio on SoundCloud. Again, I'm tracking these out, so make sure you play them. I know which ones you're feeling the most, because I'm putting together the album, and then when it's complete, I'm going to try and upload however many I can to Spotify and that. So yeah, go and check them out. I'm doing like a new style, mixing up the flows, singing, mix of poetry in there. And so the next one is going to be, what's that next one I'm dropping? It's coming up soon here. How Hard I Love. So look out for that. How Hard I Love. We got Still Alive, Sucker, Thinking About You, and Fit Thick out already, in a mix of kind of like nostalgia and moody music, but some country vibes in there, of course, hip hop and rapping, keeping true to my core. But yeah, just kind of having fun with it and hitting the shows too. So I went out to see Lil Uzi Vert at a early voting event, and so that's where I want to vote in. And he seemed excited to be there and just jumping around a lot. I'm noticing this trend recently where it's a lot of artists that don't rap like any of their vocals, and so I'm gonna start taking note of that more, like who is and who isn't. And so yeah, just he didn't really rap many of his vocals. He had a good time. I enjoyed the performance. It was cool. And it was free, so you just had to get registered and you could get in there. Kerry Washington showed up. She was on Scandal and in Django, right? So she's a celebrity and it's a big deal. She showed up to this party that I went to the following day. This is all this past weekend, and so just enjoying myself out here in Milwaukee. There's all these performers at the Packers party, voting party, cookout sort of thing that I went to on Sunday. It was a good time. Enjoyed myself there. Saw and met a few of the female artists and a couple of the male artists. I just kind of happened to run into some of the ladies, and the guys were more like clicked up, you know, like around. I had like a bunch of guys around them and stuff. It's a little different. What I notice is the ladies are with like one or two other people, you know, and they're like go out and like shake hands with the people, and the guys didn't as much do that. It kind of like hung around their clique and stuff like that. But that's just, I don't know, something that I noticed. Anyway, shaking some hands out here, meeting some cool people. Loving Milwaukee.
me today because you guys have an opportunity. You have an extraordinary opportunity to make history here and come out in record numbers to vote. Your vote is your voice. It is so important. And listen, how many of you are who here is registered to vote? Okay, all right. Did you know that you can register every day until November 1st in person? You can, if you're not registered, you can register and vote early till November 1st. And then if you don't vote, then you can still register in person and vote on November 5th. And that's amazing because in some places, registration's already over. So you have a real blessing here in this city, in this state, to be able to vote early. And it's so easy. So I want every single person to just do one thing for me. Raise your hand, raise one finger in the air. And think of one person you know that needs to vote. Does everybody have some? Because I know some of you are young. Some of you are going to tell me you're too young to vote or you already voted. So I want you to think of one other person other than yourself. You have that person in your mind? I want you to ask them to vote for you. To vote for you on your behalf. To vote your values. To vote to take care of the community. That's what I'm asking of you today. So don't give your vote away. Don't waste it. Make sure that you use your voice. Show up. It's so easy to vote. You can register in person. You can vote easily. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Are you gonna vote?
Yeah.
Are you gonna show up?
Yeah.
Are you gonna vote with joy? You gonna vote your values? I see you shaking your head. Don't do that. Somebody take care of him. Somebody talk to him. Listen, a lot of people will say, I'm not thinking about politics, and I love to say, you may not be thinking about politics, but politics is always thinking about you. So make sure you show up with love in your heart and respect. I'm so grateful to everybody who's here helping to turn out the vote. Enjoy your beautiful day. Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful, Milwaukee. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mark Tellers, y'all. Come on, man. Good afternoon. I know y'all got some next year out, man. We got some great artists coming up there. Good afternoon. I am Alderman Mark Chambers. I'm the prop alderman of the 2nd District, which y'all are sitting in right now. So thank y'all so much for coming out here and showing y'all support to come out and vote. As I mentioned earlier, we got Olivia Pope out here. Hey, give a shout out to Miss Kerry Washington again, one more time.
Hey!
You know, it is that important that we have going on right now. In less than 10 days, you know, we have a high possibility of electing the first black woman as president of the United States. I think y'all need to hear that one more time. The first black woman president of the United States of America and Vice President Kamala Harris. So I think y'all really need to understand the importance of what we got going on right now. Y'all have a great opportunity to vote. So we got some great music going on. I'm not going to take much of y'all time. I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Thank the vendors that's out there right now. Thank the food vendors that's out there right now. Thank you great on your next donation. And y'all have a great Sunday. Thank y'all again.
Controlling my life is crazy, cause even though I might never be heard, when Obama did a speech I hung on that every word, and he a star, should I listen to a celebrity word? He told my granny she keep her house and got kicked to the curb, she homeless. No, not really, but she lost her hope, jumping for joy when she got the house, now she tossed her rope, but she good, even though she could be bitter in a lot of ways. Though this country heard it shit to top out in Chicago days. And I too am America. Yeah, and you too are America. Never forget. I too am America. America. I too am America. But they got me isolated. This my declaration of independence from prison POs and sanctions.
Pull up on it. I need a man, I don't need a man, cause niggas find me like a serpent. I do as I please, you do what you can, so tell me, is it really worth it? Tell me, is it really working? Like the sucker took up with the work in. I can buy my own Birkin and change shit like a merchant. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Rap, you ain't bad bitch as cold as this. When you talk to me, speak correctly, need to clean up on aisle 7 cause it's getting messy. I ain't never learned no lesson from no bitch, so don't test me. Pull up with some Zion, you put up with some Reggie. Never hustle. I need to check the cash. I take the money and I leave him on his ass. And he a teacher pass, so only think he get a pass. You will never learn again. On my past nights, I got a $60 head. Niggas, I thought I had to leave his ass on red. I said what I said. He better about a pound. He ain't. My chest said fat. I love my man, so I'm coming up the size. You just gotta come and try it. I really got deals, you just gotta come and buy it. Only 12 o'clock, been out for 1 hour. Finna go and take a shower. Have a shopping. If she be my friend, I'm jumping in her matter. I'm just playing girl. You can never be her ass with a bang girl. Money green like the grass, I got a rainbow. I love my ass, keep no fucking with a baby or something. We can pull it off like if I got some pipe, you can pull it off.
Get the party time, get the party time. I'm like, get the party time, get the party time. I'm like, hey, hey, hey. Try for the baby shaking ass to the, shaking ass for the. Here we go, 1 second. Hey, shaking for the till she got her ass like Jada. Big booty free shaking ass like Kayla. Baby shaking, blow crazy like, baby shaking, blow crazy like Drea. Hey, Big Sean B, when I woke up in the party. Got the bands on me, so you better not get me started. Got the yays on me, these two different type of cardies.
I got this, I got nigga big, big, I like that. Fast like a light drop. If you can't put a hair. I got this, I got nigga big. This, I got nigga big. I got this, I got nigga big. Yeah. This, I got nigga bitch, I'm finna have a party with him. Put him on the stage, you would think he has a doggy in the way. Beat the jacks out of his first box. That dog shit in my bag, in my closet. And bitch, I got this, I got nigga trying to get some love. Fucking left. I don't wanna kick it, you ain't never with a money at. Bitch, I can suck, but I'm rocking where it's funny at. You had it with
We're in coalition right now, so we just need everybody to just. Did everybody got their IDs? Did y'all bring your IDs? Well, we know y'all ain't old enough to vote, but we encourage everybody to vote, man. I appreciate y'all. We don't care who you vote for, as long as you vote. So you got that water boy hoodie on like me. You got that water boy on. Yeah. So look, my name T-Real414, social media influencer. A lot of y'all already know me, some of y'all don't. I just really like to encourage people to just be a free thinker. You know what I'm saying? I just encourage people to do what they need to do for themselves, focus on their own, and just create a great opportunity for this. And I appreciate everybody that's here today. So what we gonna do? We gonna vote? Is we gonna vote?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we something. Rock it out. Hey, Lid. Hey, I love y'all, man. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you. Come on, come on. Make it to a ball like a 2-year-old. So the ball hey, to the ball. 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 To the ball.
Real pretty time picture, not crazy, y'all nigga right? She losing. It's big kids, so you know that he choosing. I love being a nigga.
bitch. And you hoes hate me and I see why. Check a nigga just to see that ugly bitch cry. I throw 10 bands on the road, that bitch. I'm just shut down, I'm really fucking living like this. Since you thought I was a sad sandwich, I chest, bitch. If you really wanna fight, Dior on my body, got me feeling real sexy. And your nigga said he like me cause he like a real hip. That's my nigga now, and I ain't got a fucking frown. All these bitches on my dick cause they know I wear that crown. Do a lot of shit for the crown.
Fast lane lifestyle, that's why I pop first. Big 40 in me, ain't slipping, I'm on high alert. Baby driving past the woods, it's time to go to work. These phones slapping so outrageous, bitch, we go berserk. You can't run right away, you gotta walk first. You can't walk right away, you gotta crawl first. You can't sprint right away, you gotta jump first. This shit can end any day, so I'ma ball first. You can't run right away, you gotta walk first. You can't walk right away, you gotta crawl first. You can't sprint right away, you gotta jump first. This shit can end any day, so I'ma ball first.
Somebody rock, told it to hit it, he ain't let's just swap somebody pop. Watching Giannis at the deer bitch, ain't seen her in a week, she FaceTiming God like you missed. I swear this demon tryna take my soul and be around with posing bows in this beamer. I swear I love this light, don't wake me up, bro, if I'm dreaming. And since 2000 pints stock, I might just need to keep them. About $1 million, I done did most.
Hey, that's a swing about, bitch. You a little ass nigga, you can't fit in line. Swing this, swing that. We finna swing again.
Whole time they ain't know y'all was swimming too. You didn't take a shake my hand on my swim. On the brain food, I slapped 10 on that one.
Big nigga, back nigga, swing that thing, nigga. You tryna me, I just been out, open up that door, nigga. Bitch, I'm up on this shit.
God, you a punk, nigga.
Red beam, I don't know, you's a dog, nigga.
The neighbors know I'm dumping, I be serving out the dough. If I fuck you on the cup, I take it back and move it slow. Or you a see, Nate, let me fuck you out your scars, baby. Play with 6, you can drop fucking love, baby. Baby, you got have no company. I guess your kid don't give a fuck about who you fuck. All I get on somebody touch. That's a whole thing. Roll on it, now she tryna cover up. You got that back, nigga, try it, baby. Get it covered up. Bitch, she got her face covered up. Yeah, she bitch, pussy, now that bitch smoking up.
We finna swing again.
You never make a deal in me. But guess what? I guess I got you right there. I'm just you ain't been away, been I took the tire, yeah. Bitch, I don't know, see me in my bag, yeah. You carry out, but now you see that you can add, yeah. You haven't seen a million cash, yeah. Woody Baker say got me high. He on me with that like Tata. I'm in it till she call me Dada. Pull up in the special jumper like I skydive. I got on Zaza. Can't even pronounce the shit I buy. Bitch, you been out, let's testify. Got the drinking niggas, pay this bitch go by. Sing to him, I'm proud of him, put the fans on. Heard that it was lonely, had to talk out there, yeah, it's lonely. I'm